So disengagement is thriving in an environment where people lack the tools, the clarity, or the autonomy to do their work, where work feels like a loop of monotony instead of a source of meaning. And remote workers are isolated, while on-site workers are overburdened, and nobody is feeling truly seen. And when leadership responds to these very real struggles with a new well-being app or a mindfulness webinar, people notice. They know the difference between being taken care of and being pacified. Welcome to the Future Ready Leader podcast, where we explore the strategies, the mindsets, and the innovations that are shaping leaders like you for tomorrow. I'm Afsheen, Executive Leadership Advisor and CEO of the Phoenix Coaching Company, and I'm here to help you amplify your leadership impact, navigate change with confidence, and create lasting growth in your organization and in yourself. Each episode will dive into leadership insights, real-world experiences, and transformative ideas to help professionals like yourself unlock your full potential. So if you're ready to future-proof your leadership and inspire meaningful change, let's get started. Welcome back to the Future Ready Leader podcast, where we don't just sugarcoat the state of leadership. We challenge it, we reshape it, and we reimagine what's possible. I'm your host, Afsheen Ismail-Wey, the CEO of the Phoenix Coaching Company, and today's episode is about one of the most quietly devastating and strangely hopeful statistics in the world of work. Only 23% of employees worldwide are engaged at work. Let that sink in. That means more than 3 out of 4 people are either disengaged or actively disengaged. Now, here's the twist. That 23%, that's the highest it's ever been. So let's talk about what that means for the state of work today. According to Gallup's State of the Global Workplace report, we've heard only 23% of the global workforce is engaged. And of course, it's fair to think that this is a catastrophe, and we wouldn't be wrong. This 2024 report estimates that low engagement costs the global economy $8.9 trillion. That's 9% of the global GDP. And yet, here is the paradox. Despite the mountain of stress, loneliness, burnout, and performative culture initiatives, we are actually seeing a slow upward trend in engagement. So maybe this number isn't just a warning sign. Maybe it's a wake-up call, a crack in the status quo, a sign that people are starting to want more, expect more, and that's the hope. So what's actually driving this engagement? We need to get honest. Most organizations don't have an engagement problem. What they have is a leadership problem, a management problem, a system problem. Gallup's data is painfully clear. 70% of the variance in team engagement comes down to one thing: your manager. So disengagement is thriving in an environment where people lack the tools, the clarity, or the autonomy to do their work, where work feels like a loop of monotony instead of a source of meaning. And remote workers are isolated, while on-site workers are overburdened, and nobody is feeling truly seen. And when leadership responds to these very real struggles with a new well-being app or a mindfulness webinar, people notice. They know the difference between being taken care of and being pacified. So what are high engagement organizations doing differently? Because they do exist. There are organizations out there across industries, across geographies, where 3/4 of the leaders and 70% of employees are engaged. So these aren't unicorns. These are intentional. And here's what they're doing differently. They hire and develop great people managers not accidental managers, not high performers promoted with no training. Great managers who know how to coach, not just to command. And they embed engagement into the culture, not just in the surveys. From onboarding to one-on-ones to how they design jobs, they're asking constantly, does this help people thrive? They make well-being real, not a benefit, but a belief, not a perk, but a practice. They go beyond physical health to address emotional, financial, and relational well-being. And you know what the result is? 11 times higher engagement ratios, more profitability, more retention, but most of all, more humanity. So here's the leadership shift that we really need. First of all, we need managers to move from boss to coach. Stop managing tasks, start understanding people, ask better questions, hold space, build trust. Second, from perks to purpose. Instead of throwing perks at burnout, look at job design, look at job clarity, and look at the culture and fix that foundation. And third, from uniformity to flexibility, understanding that engagement isn't just a one-size-fits-all. Younger employees, for example, are struggling more than ever, and that requires a new lens, not just a louder message. And finally, from quick fixes to culture changes, because this is deep work, messy work, but it's the only kind of work that lasts. So here's the twist and my call to action. Because let's go back to that number, 23%. It's low. And yes, it's concerning. And yes, it's also the highest engagement has ever been. So what does that tell us? It tells us that something is stirring. It tells me that despite the systems and the stress and the setbacks, people are still willing to care. They're willing to try, to engage, and to bring their full selves to work. And they're waiting for work to mean something again, for leadership to grow up, for organizations to stop managing disengagement and start cultivating engagement cultures. Because engagement isn't dead. It's trying to come alive. So the only question is this: are we listening? Thank you for joining me for this episode of the Future Ready Leader podcast. And if this stirred something in you, please share it. Let's start a conversation. Forward it to a leader who needs to hear it. And if you're building an organization that wants to move from performative to powerful, from disengaged to ignited, let's talk. Until next time, stay curious, stay bold, and keep rising.